to grow and learn from each other. Priorities, I'll share what our priorities are for the campaign, and I'll also let you know about some upcoming events. If you're not familiar yet with District 25 that I am running to represent, it's parts of 3 counties in Arkansas. So it's Washington, Franklin, and Crawford counties. And it goes up and down I-40 and Highway 71, basically from Springdale, Fayetteville area down to Mountainburg, Mulberry area. So that is a lot of Ozark National Forest. It's Lake Fort Smith, it's Devil's Den, it's part of the Mulberry where that reaches the Arkansas River. So in terms of geographical space, it is a lot of territory. So thank you for being here and just learning more about my campaign and my district. And we'll move forward with our management team. So we have been structuring our management team throughout the winter break, just trying to get structure in place. And so we have 2 campaign managers, one being a very strong campaign management and virtual presence, and then one is our new, we'll say, boots on the ground here in Arkansas. So Jonas, I would like for you to go ahead and introduce yourself and go ahead and speak a little bit about your partnership with Mercedes as well.
Of course. So, as Courtney said, my name is Jonas. I am the campaign manager. I am virtual. I live in Delaware, so I'm not able to be on the ground. But that being said, it hasn't been a hindrance of that much. I'm able to do everything I need to do. Um, so currently in the campaign, we're just trying to recruit more interns right now. I manage the interns. I make sure that they have assignments to do, and the interns are really like the ground root of this. Of our campaign as they're really great so far and they're getting a lot of work done. And eventually we'll be expanding more into volunteering opportunities, voter registration drives. We have a lot more planned. And yeah, I'm excited to be guiding over all this. And I just want to remind everybody again, there is a volunteer Google form in the chat. And if you want to volunteer in the future in this campaign, it doesn't have to be now, it could be later. Just please fill it out. Thank you.
And then can you tell everyone briefly about your new partner?
Yes. So Mercedes, her name is Mercedes Chandler. She is a social media influencer, um, which means that she has a very large presence on both Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, like every social media platform you could think of. She has a combined outreach of over 2 million followers. And she's also based in Arkansas, which means she's able to be on the ground. She's already had a meeting with Courtney that went great. So we're really excited to start having her push out the links on her platforms, which will allow us to reach again over 2 million people. And I'm sure over half of those are going to be from Arkansas. So we really hope that with having Mercedes as our on-the-ground campaign manager, it'll skyrocket our reach in Arkansas.
Yes, thank you. And then we have our assistant manager, Annalise, which would you mind to share a few words, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Annalise. I am a junior at the University of Delaware, but I live in Rockville, Maryland. I am helping out Jonas with anything he needs help with, and also Courtney. I also kind of help manage intern assignments or any organizations data that there needs to be. And we're looking for more volunteers and interns in this campaign. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. And then Madeline is our intern coordinator at the University of Arkansas, and she is a law student as well as I believe she's the president of Future Law and of Women in Future Law and Politics. Uh, so she is very active at the university and helping me to coordinate everybody that's working as volunteers and interns on campus. So that's just a little bit about our team. And then I want to take a minute, just a fun way for me to get to know the people that are on the call. We'll do this very briefly, very quickly. I'll start off by saying, hey, my name's Courtney. My major is studio arts with an art history and STEM minor at the University of Arkansas. Current location is Elkins, Arkansas. My jam, I'm going to put my Spotify list in the chat so you guys can jam to that. And then I'll put my emoji, which is going to be a big old heart, in the chat too. So, Jonas, can you take it from there?
Yeah, of course. So, my name is Jonas Wall. I am a student at the University of Delaware. My major is criminal justice. Um, my current location is also based in Delaware. My current soundtrack, I've been listening to a lot of Harry Styles recently, just dropped a new single. An emoji, let me find it emoji. I'm going to put a smiley face, as I'm feeling great about this campaign so far. Annalise, do you want to go next?
Hi everyone, my name is Annalise. I'm a public policy major with a minor in political science. I go to University of Delaware, but I live in Rockville, Maryland. My current soundtrack would be I'm really big into Kid Cudi and John Summit. He's an EDM artist. And I'm gonna drop an angel emoji. And I'll pass it on to Jim.
You're muted though.
Jim, I think you're still muted.
Yeah.
There should be a button in the bottom left of your screen called audio. If you click that button, you should be able to unmute. Yep, there you go. You got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Jim Wallace. I'm running for county judge in Carroll County. I ran for state senate twice in the area that covers, I think, pretty much all of the area Courtney's looking at in her campaign. It extended into Sebastian County, as well as Crawford, Johnson, Franklin, Madison, and Carroll counties. So it was wrapped around from the Oklahoma border to the Missouri border, wrapping around the I-49 metro area. My background is that I taught, and I have dogs here. I taught fine art at Texas A&M and Muskingum universities. I've retired from that, and I've lived here in Eureka Springs for about 25 years. And I'll shut up.
And feel free to tell us your favorite song that you're listening to lately, and then you can put an emoji in the chat if you'd like to as well.
Favorite song? Wow.
Hmm.
Been listening to so many different things. I discovered Radio Garden. Let me just make a pitch for Radio Garden if you guys aren't familiar with it. It's a free. You can listen to radio stations crystal clear, thousands of them all around the planet. And it's a great way to introduce yourself to the sounds of this world.
Thank you.
Yep. No work on it.
Let's see, Tashina, did I say that correctly?
Yeah, it is. But you can call me Tish.
Okay.
So I'm currently a virtual teacher. I am currently in school. I'm getting my PhD in educational leadership with a focus on decolonizing higher education. I live in Fayetteville, right on the edge of Fayetteville and Farmington. And I'm going to drop my playlist in the chat. I use Tidal, and currently K-pop Demon Hunters is pretty strong on my jam list. I'm also the treasurer and at-large committee member for the Arkansas Progressive Democrats.
Awesome. Thank you for being here today. Let's see. Dara.
Hi everyone. I'm Derek Gaines. I am teaching at the University of Arkansas in the Political Science Department. I'm also up in Fayetteville right now. Being inside in the snow, just been trying to be cozy and warm. Been listening to some Jill Scott, just hanging out, chilling. And my emoji that I'll put. Let's see. Which one can I find? Let's see. Do a blue heart. Yay. Okay.
Great. Perfect. Okay, so then Peggy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Let me turn my video on. Okay. I'm Peggy Sissel, and I was invited here by Stephanie Schufelt. I am retired. I have a doctorate in educational administration and adult and continuing ed. I am a master gardener. I have been very active in Indivisible, Northwest Arkansas, and the Red Wine and Blue group, Not on Our Watch. Uh, been, calling my uh, elected leaders, well, I wouldn't call them leaders, but the elected people in Washington on a regular basis. And honestly, right off the top of my head, I can't think of music, but, and this is going to sound weird, but the emoji that I would choose for right now is the scream.
Yeah, I can relate to that for sure. Well, thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's see. Okay, how about Rita? Can you introduce yourself? Let's see, you're on mute if you're trying. I'll give you a second. Okay, let's go to Jonah. If you can hear me and you'd like to introduce yourself, we certainly encourage you to. Okay, Stephanie. I see you're off mute, but I don't hear you. Well, Stephanie's with the Washington County Democratic headquarters. She's the office manager there. She might be having some technical issues because she's got everything up and running and got us on YouTube and all the things. So if you can jump in there, you're welcome to. Okay, well, we will move on. Let's see, am I missing anybody though, Jonas?
Let's see. I think you got everybody.
Okay, I'm not sure who VSG is.
Yeah, not me either.
But VSG, if you want to introduce yourself, love to hear from you. Okay. All right, fun times. Here we go. Let's get on with it then. And so just this is a little introduction about like what we've been up to. We've been, like I said, been recruiting interns and volunteers, and we're working on our future outreach, our engagement as far as voter registration drives. And then we realized that I don't have a primary, so we have a long game till November. Keeping in mind that this was won by the Republican candidate by 70% of the vote last time. So I have a very, we'll say, big goal in front of myself to win this election. And then we have the interns. They've been busy working on helping me write scripts for different meetings and doing research for those meetings and for like applications for PACs and different things. All that to say, we've been busy behind the scenes getting things ready as we move forward into our phone banking, fundraising, and voter registration events.
Courtney, VSG put something in the chat if you want to look at it.
Okay. Let's see. You want to read it to me since
Yep, I gotcha. It says that where her name is Valerie Gladback, and she's very excited to be here, and this is her first call with us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And then
Thank you. I finally found my unmute button.
it can be kind of tricky sometimes. And then we have Kabir that just also joined the call as well. He's one of our interns that's working to lead our fundraising efforts. So, but then moving forward, where we're at with our events. We have a short-term goal and long-term goal when it comes to voter registration drives. We have the Arkansas Ballot Blitz that is almost over. We need as many people to register to vote before February 2nd to meet the deadline in time for the primary. Again, I don't have a primary, but this helps everybody in our state get elected, right? So then we have the long-term goal of growing the vote, which goes until November, where we'll be doing just creative ways to reach the community, but we'll have seeds available to give people as they're registering to vote or learning more about the election. Just a fun partnership that really, really strengthens what I believe in as far as sustainability and conservation. So it's a fun project for me to get involved in. And then let's see, we have guest speakers. So on our meeting earlier today, we had Robin speaking about fundraising events, and I'm going to go ahead and speak on that here in a moment. But then we had Stephanie, who was going to give us updates on the Washington County Democratic headquarters and how to get plugged in there. Stephanie, are you available? I see you came off mute, but we don't hear you. I don't know, you may have to join on a different account is my thinking, like your personal account, and then let me know, and then we'll have you come in and speak because I still don't hear you. But this is the headquarters where my office is. So if anybody wants to come and get involved, I have office hours every Sunday. Not today because we're snowed out, but normally our office hours are from 2 to 5, and it's in Springdale, so it's easy access if you're in Northwest Arkansas. And we have a lot of different activities you can get involved with for the campaign, a lot of artistic outreach. If you want to make bracelets, we can do that. Stephanie, I see you joined with another account. You want to try?
Are you able to hear me?
Yay! Okay.
Aha! Okay. Our goal with headquarters is to make sure that it's open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday. Right now we're going for like 3 hours a day. But obviously as campaigns progress, we're going to need more hours. So if you're at all interested in that, please sign up. We're also going to be doing phone banking texting for, not just for Courtney and I, but for all the candidates. So if you're interested in getting involved, also please sign up. You're going to want to go to, let's see, I'm gonna put the message in the chat here. You're going to want to go to the Washington County Democratic website.
Yes. Which that's what I have pulled up here. So it's easy, very easy to navigate. You can click on volunteer and fill out the form, let them know you want to volunteer. They have a newsletter where you can sign up for updates. So thank you for being here on the call and sharing that opportunity with everyone. And let's see.
And then also, don't forget, we're going to have Tish give a little rundown about what's going on with the Progressive Caucus and a couple of the projects that they're working on that we might be able to help with.
Yes. And Tish, do you have a website that you can put in the chat for us? And then I'll put it here on the slideshow, and we'll go ahead and let you jump in here since Robin couldn't make this call.
For sure. I'm Tish Mindemann. I am the treasurer and at-large state committee member for the Arkansas Progressive Democrats. We are an auxiliary from the offshoot of the Democratic Party of Arkansas. We're one of the, you might have to put the www in front.
Okay, got it.
Oh, why can't our site be reached? Stand by.
We'll get there.
So we have more progressive ideals than sometimes the mainstream. So we're an ideological. That's a really hard word, and I'm very sorry. Uh, we are that kind of
That's kind of as hard as acetaminophen.
acetaminophen, yeah. It's a difficult one.
That is a hard one. I'm tongue twister.
We are based on ideologies as opposed to like a county party, which allows anyone to join. There it is. Yay.
Yay.
You can see across the top because of the storm, we have created a map of the warming centers in all of Arkansas. It also tells you whether or not they're ADA compliant, whether or not they are they allow pets and some different things like that. So if you click on one of the little dots, it'll tell you yeah, all of those cool pieces of information. So if you guys have more information about different warming centers, feel free to send that to us and we'll update our map. A couple of the things that we are working on, we are working to build the auxiliaries together to help. For example, the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander auxiliary has kind of fallen off because a lot of their leadership moved. So they're rebuilding at this time. So we're doing a lot to try and help them build back. And we're working with the Black Caucus, which has been around for 40 years, to try and do some fundraising for all caucuses. We're working with the Young Democrats on their push to allow auxiliaries to support candidates during the primaries. Currently, that's not something that's allowed, and we have talked about how it's very difficult for us to already recruit candidates from our different auxiliaries when we can't support them in the primaries. So if we want more diverse voices and more candidates, then allowing auxiliaries to do that. Because we are based on ideologies and race and ethnicity, it makes sense as opposed to a county party, which is for everybody. This is our platform that Courtney's showing you right now. Talks about some of the things that we support. And it's downloadable so that you can click on it and see how that works. You can join us. You can get involved in our Discord. We have a meeting every week where we discuss auxiliary business, but also we talk about what ways we can like help to promote candidates, how we can help to provide education for people. Our event calendar that Courtney's showing you right now has all of our meeting agendas and minutes, but if you scroll down just a little bit, so did she take it off on accident? We have a running list of events from around the state for like the Black Caucus, the ANHPI, the Young Dems, any auxiliary meetings, plus our monthly meeting, plus anything that the DPA is putting on. So it's a really nice way to get connected. Also, the on the first Monday or on every Monday, the Grounds for Resistance meets, and that's like a local Washington County thing. So we put local things on there as well. Anything that we think that our auxiliary members would like to know about, we throw on there for sure. A couple of things that we're also working on is revamping our bylaws, which is super crazy. And if you've ever revamped bylaws, it's super crazy. But one of the things that you guys can help with that doesn't relate to our bylaws or anything that our auxiliary like business is we are trying to get a list of all of the flock cameras around the state of Arkansas. So one of the things that is happening is that law enforcement, and specifically ICE, is using those flock cameras to look at your license plate. And if you have a name that sounds Hispanic, they are targeting you as ICE. And so we want to help people avoid those cameras so that they don't get illegally targeted. So we're asking everyone to put in a FOIA request at your police stations to obtain the locations of all of those flock cameras. The other thing that we're asking for help with is we're trying to come up with a mutual aid book, basically, for all of Arkansas. We currently have one for like the Little Rock area, and I can throw that in the chat. Give me just 1 second. But we really want everyone to have one wherever you're at. And it's a way to get connected to different services that are within your county or your area for political activism, for education, for reproductive freedom, legal support, any third spaces, how your neighbors are getting fed, how to support LGBTQ members. So if you have any of those, um, if you have any of those, like places that you know about, if you can send them to us or send them to Courtney and Stephanie and forward them on to us, then we can make a whole booklet so that anyone across the entire state can have access to that information.
Wow, you guys are busy.
We are. There's about 4 of us that are consistently part of all of this, but we're trying to build. So if you're interested, feel free to join our APD and get involved on our Discord.
Wow, that's awesome. I just joined the Discord. Yay, so I'm ready to go. So thank you. We'll stay connected and we'll keep moving forward in all of those projects as much as we can get people involved, we will do that as well. We're gonna now go kind of skip around a little bit. I'm gonna come back to this here in a second. Dara, are you ready to speak?
I am. Thank you very much for having me on this evening to talk about the Block Captain program. I'm just excited to see what your campaign is doing. I think it's great to bring all these different components together, and I think that that's what it takes. I know you mentioned sort of being in a very red space. I think the work that you're doing to bring all these different components together, the county party, the Progressive Caucus, the block captains, bringing up other folks together, that's what it's going to take. So thank you very much for thinking ahead and trying to be a bringer together. I think a lot of times we divide ourselves up even more than we have to. So thank you for thinking like that. All right, so I am here to talk about the Arkansas Block Captain Program, which is a program from the Democratic Party. Here is a recording from our meeting that we had, and you should feel free to watch that video and learn about the program. But I'm happy to give a really like a 10,000 level sort of overview of what we've got going on with the program. Then feel free to watch that video, reach out to me with any questions or concerns. So what the Block Captain program is essentially an opportunity for folks to sort of get their foot in the door when it comes to reaching out and engaging with their neighbors. So every campaign is not as thoughtful as this one is, as far as figuring out who's around, how do we show up to help them, how do we make sure that the people that are interested in getting engaged with this campaign have the tools that they need. So because every campaign is not as thoughtful, oftentimes we have people who are interested in helping out, but they don't really know how. And the Block Captain program is a space for anyone who's interested in helping Democrats to get elected to sort of get a first glance at what that might look like. So the reason why this program is helpful is that it gives those folks who don't have good campaigns to get on to volunteer an opportunity, but it also gives campaigns that have volunteers that might not have the infrastructure for, a lot of intense training sessions, or might not be able to talk through all the different components of these different softwares and things. It gives those volunteers an opportunity to get some training and to get some experience, all the while building up this program that supports the party itself. So all these different components are working together. So the goal with the Block Captain program is to introduce an individual to 50 people near them who might not vote regularly, that maybe they are likely to be Democrats but have not had that much engagement from the Democratic Party. Maybe they're new to the area and we don't really know that much about the way that they've been voting. There are plenty of different criteria that might put someone on a block captain's list. But once they're on that list, our block captains are charged with speaking to them at least once before the primary to let them know that the primary is coming up and how they can make sure that they're prepared. And then during the general election season, we're going to have several different opportunities for our block captains to reach out to those folks that are on their list. So here you on the screen you see our two different tiers. We have tier 1 captains and tier 2 captains. Our tier 1 captains are the more traditional idea of what you would think of when you think of a block captain, right? These are going to be the people who are hopping on to the monthly calls that we have. These are the people who are going to be going door to door based on the list that they've been given. These are the folks that will be making the calls, doing all of those block captain things. And your tier 1 volunteer, your tier 2 volunteers are going to be mostly sort of stay in the loop, right? Get the updates, but they will be the ones who will call when we're doing sort of anything virtual. So if we're doing some phone banking where everybody can call their own lists and that sort of stuff, that's what we will be calling the tier 2 people for. So your tier 1 folks are going to be those people who are really interested in going and talking to these voters. Maybe they're going and knocking on their door and leaving them some information. Maybe they are giving them a call and making sure that they have all the information that they need. So that's what the Block Captain program is. It's just a structured opportunity for folks to learn about the different software that we use. And I see there's some questions about van. What does van mean in terms of the van list? And yes, Tish's explanation, it's a list that the DPA keeps that is like a voter registration list. It is. It's the pretty much the information from people's voter registration. VAN stands for Voter Action Network, and it is a software that pretty much keeps all of the voter registration information and plus some different models. So they've come up with these different ways to model behavior so we can try to anticipate who's a likely Democrat, what sort of issues are they likely to support, all those sorts of things, along with how likely is this person to turn out to vote? Did they turn out to vote in this past midterm, or are they more likely to vote in the presidential election? Right? They have all those numbers plus your voter registration information, and we can set the lists to capture certain criteria. So we can set a list to only people who are likely to be Democrats, only people who didn't vote in the last election. So we can come up with a list that would have people who are very likely to be Democrats, but for some reason didn't vote in the last election. And we would be able to more accurately target those sorts of folks when we're making our calls and things. So I hope that was helpful. But yeah, so the block caption program is an opportunity to use those sorts of tools and get some practice because most of our campaigns these days are going to be using some form of software to reach out to voters, and this is an opportunity to get some sort of free practice and engagement using that exact same software.
Let's see. Thank you. That's perfect. And this video, I tell you, if you want to learn more about it, this YouTube video, this is what you need to watch.
Can you
So,
throw that in the chat? I can't seem to find it on the DPA's website.
yes, I imagine that we'll get that in the chat pretty quickly. Let's see. All right, so moving on. This is great. I love having everybody sharing and giving the information. It's so helpful. So a little bit about what we're doing with our campaign and what we're focused on just in the next in the springtime. Since I don't have a primary, I have a little bit more of a casual approach to how I'm going about things. I do have a I feel like pretty lofty fundraising goal of 70,000, but to be competitive in this district, I'm going to have to raise every bit of that and a little bit more. So I have different strategies for going about that. One is very casual potluck fundraiser where people invite me to their homes or place of business. I don't care. The park would be great. I love to go outside. But anyway, we can work out the details of something along those lines. And then we have this fun little graphic over here, which you guys are probably like, dogs have hammers and music. Like, what is this? Coffee, construction, and conversation. This is a community service project that we are doing in Fayetteville. It is at the Good Dog Cafe. We're basically helping them build a stage so then they can host more events for nonprofits in Fayetteville. So it's another like place where these nonprofits are going to be getting together to collaborate and work on community projects. So we're going to just knock that out March 8th, start building that stage. We've got the plans and materials ready to go. We're very excited to be helping with that. And then we've got some upcoming, as I mentioned, the ballot blitz. But then if you look here in spring 2026, you've got Terra Studios and Birdfest. So Terra Studios is in District 25. If you haven't heard of Terra Studios, maybe someone can put the link in the chat for me. And Terra Studios is like an art community, but they have space they have a stage now, for example, that's brand new where they're hosting all kinds of events. But they have an event every spring break. It's called the Spring Fling. And so March 25th through the 28th, we've got permission to go out and do a nonpartisan voter registration drive where we'll offer art activities and things for free. Just making bracelets and painting rocks and those fun kinds of ways to get people engaged, and then also getting them registered to vote. And then Birdfest. I used to work at Birds Adventure Center. If you haven't heard of that before, that's another fun one to Google, Birds Adventure Center. They are 800 acres on the Mulberry River. So I went and asked my boss, I said, hey, can we come to Birdfest? And I'm just going to put this up here real quick because it's so amazing. Oh, it's not going to let us go. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it's literally hiking and camping and the river. Like I showed people how they could float the Mulberry River for forever and ever. So they have what Birdfest is a music festival each spring. And so we're going to go and do another one of those voter registration drives there. I encourage you to think about coming and camping and just making like a whole weekend out of it. But that's just a really fun example of the ways that I'm going to, rather than try to plan something, I'm going to join the things that the community or the district already has planned. So, yay. Okay, so those are some fun volunteer opportunities coming up pretty quickly. And then here we are with Are You Ready to Lead? So by this point, hopefully you're fired up. You've learned something that, hey, I want to get involved. I want to help in any way. We've got leadership opportunities, volunteer opportunities, you name it. If you need college credit hours, we can get you up to 6 college credit hours for internships at the U of A. So I'm happy to give any information on how to move forward in any of these positions. So we've got Google Forms. All you have to do is literally make sure that you're getting us your contact information, and we will email you any and all of this after the meeting today. And then finally, here we are at our final slide. I want to know, of course, if you have any questions for me. This is your volunteer link, our group me QR codes, so you can take a screenshot and scan it or whatever you need to do. If you need the link, we'll get that to you in the email as well. But yeah, I just want to open the floor now and say thank you for being here. But now if you have questions, please feel free to stick on for a little bit. And otherwise you're free to go. And I really appreciate your time and you being here today. And that's a lot to say at one time.
So I wanted to point out that minivan, when you're canvassing, is one of the best pieces of software. I used it a bunch on Billy's Cook's campaign. We were able to write actual notes about everybody that we knocked doors on. And so when we went back to re-knock those doors, those notes were there. And so you can put in the app, the things that people have told you at the doors, what their issues are, what their concerns are, what they'd like to see the legislature focus on. And also we're able to mark down if there's somebody that's willing to volunteer, you can flag that person and get them connected. So definitely, if you can become a block captain, go for it.
Yes. Yes, please. Jonas, do you have any final words for us today?
Yeah, so first I would like to again state that the volunteer form is still in the group chat. Sorry, in the chat of the Zoom. If anybody wants to fill it out, we already have a few responses, so thank you for those who have already. And we would love to, yeah, we would love everybody to use the form. For my final thoughts, yeah, I think we're still in the early phases of the campaign, so I think later these meetings will be much bigger. We really plan on just expanding everything. And building a more base, but it starts here. It starts with everybody here now. And I hope that these early supporters, that all of you can eventually become long-term supporters and hopefully propel us through the general election and get her in office.
Thank you. And Annalise?
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I hope everyone's staying warm. I did add the volunteer link on the group chat. I will add it one more time. So if you guys are able to volunteer, come and help us out. We have so many opportunities. It can even take up like 1 or 2 hours of your day. You can do phone banking, canvassing, just anything that can help us out is great. Thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you.
Can I hear when Birdfest is again so that I can throw it on our calendar?
Yes, so Birdfest, let me pull that up here, is the April 15th. Let me pull up the right slide. There you go. I lost my little slideshow. April 15th through the 17th. Let me just pull up.
The 17th. Okay. And you said it was the bird what? Bird,
April,
bird center?
Birds Adventure Center.
Birds Adventure Center. There it is. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I put it on our calendar so everybody would know. There we go. Got it, got it. Thank you.
Just looking at the calendar again. Yes. So we'll actually get there on the 16th, which is on a Thursday, because a lot of people arrived on the Thursday beforehand. So we'll have a team there on that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the 16th through the 18th.